Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about the creative process regarding music and why you should make music for yourself and not necessarily for other people. Now what do I mean by that? Because people say that sort of thing a lot. Oh, you should create for yourself and not worry about the audience's interpretation of it or whatever. And you know, it can sort of sound like, oh shut the hell up, yeah, make stuff for yourself, no duh, obviously. Well, when I say make stuff for yourself, what I kind of mean by that is just make music that aligns with your taste. So whatever your taste is, like for instance, if you make sort of hip hop beats, I imagine that you're someone that likes hip hop in general and you like that kind of sound. If someone's out there making rock music, I imagine that they like to listen to rock music in their spare time. If someone makes EDM, then I think they listen to EDM. Like every artist that I've seen that I know that makes music, they make music that kind of aligns with their own taste, and I encourage you to do the same. Don't go for stuff that's necessarily like what you think others might want from you. Make what you want for yourself, and if other people like it, then they're going to join along with you because they see that you are being yourself and doing your own thing, and that shows a level of confidence in yourself and in your own ability that is quite admirable. I think it's admirable to just be yourself in your creative works and just to do what you feel is right regarding your own music. So with my music, I'm quite into my sort of prog rock sort of stuff. I like my psychedelic rock, my acid rock, and you know, I like stuff along those sort of lines. Like some of my favorite bands are like Camel, King Gizzard, and various stuff like that. I like a bit of Tool as well. So I like these kind of progressive rock things with lots of long songs. And when I got into making music, I was a bit worried about making long songs because it felt a bit egotistical to be a nobody putting out 9, 10, 11-minute songs. That am I expecting the audience to listen to 10 minutes of a nobody? Well, no, I'm not expecting them to listen to 10 minutes of a nobody because I am making these songs for myself and for my own listening pleasure, and that to me is what should come first. It's important to make stuff for yourself first and let the audience join in on you. It's the same sort of way that, for instance, if you're trying to find a relationship, you don't want to be someone that you're not. You want to just be yourself, and if they like that, then you can just carry on being yourself. And that's a way better way of existing and having a relationship. And the same sort of way it works with music. If you just are yourself, you'll find an audience that like the same sort of thing as you, and you'll find like-minded people out there because you're nowhere near as unique as you think you are. At the end of the day, you're not a particularly unique individual. So you can use that to your own advantage and make stuff that is tailored to your interests, to suit your audio sort of musical taste. And then from that, you can use the fact that other people will like the same kind of thing as you to your advantage. So the more you make, the more chances you have of someone latching onto one particular song. That's why I believe in quantity over quality. That's why I believe that you should make as much stuff as possible and ask questions after the fact. I feel like it's important to just try and try and try again, and eventually just keep mining away, and eventually you will strike gold. And as you continue your musical journey of learning instruments and learning different styles and learning different things that and you know, you might do some heavier tracks, you might do some softer tracks, you might do some longer tracks, you might do some shorter tracks, you might do some with vocals, you might do some instrumentals, you might do some with a weird crescendo in it, you might do something with a weird little bossa nova section in it. You might just have some fun with it and just do stuff that fits whatever you like. If you're someone that's like, you know, you have a lot of synthesizers, maybe you make synthwave kind of stuff, you know, you explore the sounds that you enjoy and just do what feels natural to you and just make stuff that feels right for you. Because you'll never be able to be someone that you're not. You can never convincingly be a musician that isn't really you. And you can kind of tell that with various artists that you can see maybe they got big in the 80s or the 90s and they're still trying to make that sort of thing now. But you can kind of tell their heart's not quite in it and they really like something else because they're spending a lot of time with their other projects and not so much with their main band and that kind of thing. You can kind of tell if their heart is really in it. And if your heart is in it, then people are going to latch on and you'll be timeless no matter what, compared to if you don't have your heart in it and you're just chasing an individual trend or an individual idea. People will cotton onto that because people are quite smart. Your audience is way smarter than you possibly could give them credit for. Even if you do think they're smart, they're smarter even than that. is my overall point. And so you can just use that to your own advantage by just being yourself, being the true version of you. And don't be afraid to put the true version of yourself out there, because the true version of you is quite nice. They're quite a decent person at the end of the day. And so all you need to do is just keep making as many things as you can, and you'll eventually find something that works. And once you carve out a sound for yourself that feels you, that feels natural to make, and what you'll find is you'll try and do, like, say you try and make a song in a certain style, right? You'll never emulate that style properly. Like, say you want to make a Pink Floyd style track, okay? And you sit down, you're like, okay, so how does Pink Floyd do it? Like the boom, 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 boom. And they do that, and then they might have some like bluesy guitar solos over it, and they might have their large synthesizers and organs and stuff like that going through it. So you use the same elements and the same ingredients that they use for their music, but you'll use them in different ways, and you'll end up creating a different product, even though you're using the same tools and the same ideas. Because you aren't Pink Floyd, you aren't David Gilmour, you aren't Roger Waters, you aren't Nick Mason, you aren't Richard Wright, you're just you. And so if you try and make that, if you're trying to force yourself to put yourself in that little Pink Floyd box, that's not going to work. But if you just take some of their ideas as inspiration to make your own song and allow it to just be what it's going to be, then it will be a lot more interesting. It's like the same way I like to experiment with modes in music. So like, say recently I've been doing F sharp Phrygian. That doesn't necessarily mean that you stay 100% within that, because you can dip out of F sharp Phrygian, keep in the same scale, but losing the Phrygian feel, and that is still just as valid. You know, when you see, like, if you are someone that looks at like music tutorials and stuff, you'll see that, like, well, we don't want to lose this tonality. You can lose that tonality if you want and get a different tonality, because it'll end up being your thing, your product, your idea and your sound, and it'll be unique to you. And that's just going to come from your natural experimentation. What you feel, what draws you, is going to take you down an interesting rabbit hole. And I think that that's part of the beauty of music, is that everyone can have a crack at it, everyone can do their own thing, and everyone has a voice and everyone has something to say. And why not say it? Because you've clearly got something you want to get out there. So why not just stop worrying about it and just start doing it? Because I think why you want to create isn't necessarily for the popularity or the fame or anything like that. You want to create because you have a thing that you want to say. And if other people can latch onto it, then that's nice. That's nice that they do that. And it's great to be creating and constantly trying to improve yourself and constantly trying to top yourself. But at the same time, don't pressure yourself into trying to top the last thing you did. The newest thing you did doesn't necessarily have to be the best thing you've ever done. It can just be another one, and another one, and another one after that. And eventually you'll find something that is the best thing you ever did, and it'll probably be something that you didn't actually put that much thought or effort into. It's like recently I did an album in a day called 12 Hours of Stubbornness, and there's a waltzy track on it. It's the second track on it's called Look All Around. When I was making it, I thought that was going to be a write-off on the album, but no, it's actually been the one I revisited the most, and it's the one that I like the most, because I tried a weird experiment, and the experiment worked. Not every experiment will work, and that's totally fine. But sometimes something will work, and once it does work, why not just try it again? So I might make another waltzy song at some point, or I might make a bossa nova song at some point, or I might, just try weird things, and see where it takes you, because it will take you somewhere interesting. And the creative journey is unique to all of us, and everyone's journey is unique, and everyone's path to, musical aptitude is different. That's essentially the message that I wanted to get across with this video. So I think that's basically it, is make music for yourself, and this isn't just limited to music. Make books for yourself, or whatever it is you want to make it for yourself primarily. And if what you have to say is interesting, other people will follow along, because you do have something to say. You are an interesting person. You've got something to get out there into the world, and you've clearly got a drive, otherwise you wouldn't be watching a video like this. So why not just start and not worry about what other people have to say, and just do it for yourself? I made a lot of crap, and I liked it. I liked that crap, no one else liked it, but why should I let that get in my way? So I'm going to keep trying new things, and keep experimenting, keep developing, keep growing as a musician. And eventually I managed to make stuff that other people could relate to and could find some sort of solace in, and that's brilliant. you know, and as time goes on, I'll improve, and eventually the stuff I make now, I'll feel the same way about stuff that I make now that I feel about the stuff that I made 4 years ago, which is that it's completely unlistenable garbage. And that's totally fine, because in a few years from now, I'll have new music that I'll think is the best stuff. And then a few years after that, I'll have new music that I think is the best stuff, and it'll make the stuff that I made in the future look like the stuff that I made 4 years ago, which is complete unlistenable garbage. And that's cool. It's good to keep developing, keep growing, and just doing it for yourself. And that's not a selfish thing. It's not selfish to make stuff for yourself, because, you know, if you have the drive, then why not get in that car, put the key in the ignition, and just go? You know, that's essentially what I wanted to say. And yeah, that's basically the entire point of this video. So thank you so much for watching this. If you have any music that you're trying to work on, please put your ideas for it in the comments below. And if you want to join our email band that I've been setting up, please give me an email at officialmorrisonfilms@gmail.com. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day. And I'm just going to wander off and leave you with this shot, because I'll tell you what, I love it. It's the fog. The fog's making it so good, isn't it? Look at that. It looks beautiful in real life. God, it looks pretty decent on the camera as well. Nice. So, yeah, there's one thing here that's about music, and there's one thing here-ish that's about film, and then at the bottom, somewhere around here on the bottom half, that's the subscribe button. So click one of those things. Check out some of the more material that's on the channel, and yeah, have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye. Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about Christmas. This is Christmas. He's got a little Santa hat on, and he's a little teddy bear sort of thing. So it is Christmas. I know it's not a tree, but he is on a present. So a lot of Christmas throughout the ages has always been about bringing the family together, bringing people together to come and celebrate this one thing. What's so nice about Christmas is the fact that everyone right now has the Christmas spirit going on. You know, he's got the Christmas spirit going on, she's got the Christmas spirit going on. We've all got this sort of sense of community that kind of comes together in a holistic sense for the sake of a singular holiday, a single day, at being the 25th of December. And you know, there's various reasons for it. There's the religious sort of side to it, you know, Jesus' birthday kind of thing. And then there's the, you know, the people that are religious that kind of come together and pray and whatever on that day, and it's like a community thing at the church. There's all that sort of stuff. And then there's the general, you know, materialist, capitalist side of it regarding, you know, getting the presents. You get your presents for your son, he wants a Scalextrics. You get a present for a daughter, she wants a Barbie playhouse, whatever. You get your presents for your mum and your dad and your friends and all this sort of shit, right? So you get all these various things, and then you've got the general, you know, the few little rituals that you do at Christmas. Everyone's got those little sets of rituals, right? Mine, for instance, when I was a sort of kid, would be you get the stockings, right, and they'd be hung on the fireplace, and then you put it at the end of your bed or whatever, right? And you take it into your mum and dad's room, and you just lie in bed with them, and you'd all just open your presents together, right? And it would be little things. It would be like little bits, stuff that you can get for like maybe £3, £4, £5. Get a few of those, and then go down and you'd open your main presents under the tree. And then, you know, you might have a couple croissants, and you might, you know, have some tea and some coffee and that sort of thing. And it's a good excuse to drink early on in the day. You know, there's all these various sort of aspects to it. And then, you know, you all kind of go off and do your own thing around, you know, lunchtime, unless you're one of those families that has a Christmas lunch rather than a Christmas dinner. I wasn't. I was the sort of family that had a Christmas dinner. So it's nice to sit down and have the Christmas dinner. But then you don't even really think about, you know, cooking a Christmas dinner is a pain in the ass, right? I've cooked one, right? Jesus Christ, massive respect to everyone that does the, you know, the person that is lumbered with the Christmas dinner every single year, right? So I'm going to try and do the Christmas dinner this year. Now that's a promise that I've just made. Now I've got to do it. So yeah, you've got that, and then sitting down for the Christmas dinner is a really nice thing. They bring out Christmas crackers, which, frankly, why aren't Christmas crackers just a thing all throughout the year? Because there's a nice little socialising thing. Just a little like, oh yeah, do you want to go? Do you want to go? Sort of like that. Why not have that throughout the year? But we save it. Oh, shut up. He's ruining my video. But the reason that people do this is it's real Christmas spirit, this, isn't it? But I found part of what makes it so magical is that you only do it once a year, and you only do it every now and then. And you know, Christmas as a period everyone is, people get time off work, school closes, and everyone's kind of off around the same time. And then there's that period sort of from the 26th to like maybe the 30th, that 4-day stretch there where basically nothing happens. That's always a really nice little time because you can sit back, relax, take it all in, reassess the year, see what happens, see what you want to do in the future, and that's when you start thinking about the time to come. And then New Year's just comes around the corner afterwards, and those two are a nice 1-2 punch. So it's really nice to have that. It's really nice, the whole Christmas sort of time, and it's quite easy to be a bit of a, Grinch about it. Like, I certainly had a phase where I was looking at all the red and green lights and this fucking thing and just being like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, can we let it go? But I think part of what makes Christmas so magical is, I think when you're a kid, there is this larger than life wonder that you have around the world in general. And so Christmas is quite overwhelming. I imagine when you were a kid, if you celebrated Christmas, you struggled to sleep on Christmas Eve. When I was a kid, I used to put on Lord of the Rings, and my goal was to watch all 3 Lords of the Rings. Never did. Never managed to get past the first one, but I'd get like maybe 3 hours into the first one, which isn't even at the end, and then I'd probably fall asleep at some point during that. But it's so difficult to sleep when you are a kid and you know that you got presents in the morning and you're really excited, because Christmas is just a time that has been sort of pushed down your throat in a semi-nice way. You go to school and you do your little Christmas cards, and like the Christmas tree comes up at school, and then the Christmas tree comes up at home, and your teachers might wear Santa hats every once in a while, and then you sit down on Christmas Day and you watch whatever the Christmas special is. I don't know, the Doctor Who Christmas special or the new Wallace and Gromit or whatever. And I presume in America you've got your own cultural touchstones regarding Christmas that come around each year that make you feel the Christmas spirit and Christmas cheer and all that. And even if you're quite a cynical person and you've lost the Christmas magic, like I have, actually, I don't really have much of a Christmassy spirit. I mean, I look at this and I don't feel much. I do feel happy for other people who look at this. Like, just before I came on, there were some people that were coming up and being like this with their phones, all taking selfies and stuff. All like that, right? And, I could have quite easily looked at them and just gone, oh my God, you just want to put this on your bloody Instagram and get some likes for your bloody Christmas, blah, blah, blah. But then in a way, isn't that what I'm doing? Making a Christmas video around Christmas time. If I didn't want to be a hypocrite, I would have put this video out in June, but I didn't, because I think Christmas is a good time for everyone to come together and collectivise a little bit and feel the community come together. It's nice to go into a little pub on like December the 18th and get a mulled wine and sit and talk to some fat guy in a Santa hat about his little experiences when he was a kid. And how when he was a kid he used to get like really crap Christmas presents compared to the kids nowadays, or whatever. You get all sorts of fun little interactions with people. You get so many fun little conversations with various members of your community, and that's where it's just so nice. It's so nice that we can all come together in this way. And if you're like me in the past, where you kind of shut out this idea of Christmas and you just sit there, like Christmas Day came a few years ago, right? And I barely noticed. Apart from the fact that I had Christmas dinner, I really didn't give a shit. I was just there like, oh, for God's sake, I've got to get Christmas presents for people. And that's what I've been thinking this year. It's like, oh, I've got to get people Christmas presents. And I started thinking, hang on, here's an idea. Why don't I just get the next 4 years worth of Christmas presents for everyone? But I think maybe part of what makes it so fun is it's a time to, think of others and let us all come together a little bit. And when I say think of others, I mean, as a community, we can all come together as a whole and celebrate this one day. And we can celebrate it in different ways and for different reasons. Some people will be on the Jesus sort of side, or they're doing it for this. But then Christmas is originally a pagan holiday. Yule is the 21st of December. And my family like to get a Yule log for that and sort of celebrate that. And that's always quite nice. Yule logs are really, really fucking nice, by the way. And you get maybe one present on Yule and then one present on Christmas. But like small, like a tiny little thing, like, I don't know, some book from a charity shop, or just like, I don't know, like a new skillet from Sainsbury's or something like that, just basic stuff. And then Christmas is for more the personalised thing. But I struggle with presents, actually. I struggle with getting people presents because I'm not good at like the whole personalising, thinking what they would like. Because I remember when I was a kid, my mum was dyeing her hair blonde around that time, and I bought her black hair dye for Christmas. And she opened the box and she went, "Oh, Josh, I appreciate it, but I'm dyeing my hair blonde This kind of goes antithetical to what I'm trying to do. I don't think she said antithetical, but because I was also about 9. Yeah, so it's hard to actually do that, and it takes a bit of your mental capacity. And I imagine if you're maybe a bit of a social introvert or whatever, and you're not massively great with people, it's a struggle for you around this time, because you're really struggling to find the thing that feels magical for the people that you care about. You want to get them something really good, but you're going around all the shops. You go into every single shop on the Broadway, and you go to the shop on the next Broadway, and you're looking around constantly on the lookout for stuff, and you just can't find anything. Nothing feels right. Everything feels like they would open it up and go, oh, thanks very much, yeah. You know, stuff that they feel like they won't care about. And sometimes, like when I was a kid, I had a friend, and me and him for Christmas and birthdays, we had a tenner that we just passed back and forth. I'd give him a tenner for his birthday, he'd give me the tenner back for Christmas, I'd give him the tenner back for his birthday, I'd get the tenner back for Christmas, whatever, that kind of thing, right? And I just went on and on and on, and we just kind of looked at each other one day and was like, should we just stop this? Because this is pointless. And we went, okay, can I have the tenner then? And yeah, I just went, all right. And you know, maybe the presents come into maybe the materialist side of things, because you know, Christmas does come earlier and earlier every year. That's the whole common complaint, is like, oh, it's October the 26th, it should be Halloween presents that are coming out, but we're getting Christmas stuff on the shelves. And it's, I don't know, it's fun to moan about, it's fun to sit down and have a bit of a moan about it, but once you do it more and more and more, you start to wonder, are people doing this in just a jokey way like I am, or are they actually like legitimately pissed off about this issue that doesn't matter? Oh no, there's Christmas stuff in the shop in September. Don't buy it then, right? Every time I go in there, all the aisles are basically full anyway. I don't know why they do it anyway. It doesn't seem like it sells that well. I've seen Easter eggs get sold in January. And the best before date was March. I know Easter sometimes comes in March, but it wasn't this year in particular. So, I don't know. In general with Christmas, I have a bit of a complicated relationship with it, because it is quite nice. It's nice to have a bit of a change from the norm, and it's nice to get weird little things like this pop up, and it's nice to see people in Santa hats and going around and just having a nice jolly time together, and it's nice to feel the merriness and all that. But at the same time, it can be a bit of a stress trying to find the present for everyone, and particularly if you're a parent, I imagine. And you know, doing the Christmas dinner every year, for people that do that, I feel really sorry for people who have to do that, because I've seen it takes fucking ages. Like, you basically have to spend all day, and then the night before you're often like preparing things to do for the next day. So you like, maybe you slice all the carrots and dice them for that, and then you sort out these little things that can just, that way you can just whack it all in the pan or in the crock pot or whatever, you know. And I don't know, I remember when I was a kid, because you know, you still believe in Santa Claus around that time. I remember I went into the kitchen, and my mum and dad were there, and they looked at me almost like deer in the headlights, like, and they were quite frantically wrapping presents, and they looked stressed, and it sort of made me feel like, hang on, this is what Christmas sort of does. Like, some people provide the Christmas and others get the Christmas, is what it sometimes feels like. And that's my main issue with Christmas, really, is that it's not an equal celebration. Some people have to put in more work than others, and some people just get to reap the rewards, and that's not particularly fair, I feel like. I feel like we should be focusing more on just getting the cultural touchstones of Christmas back. I mean, like the Doctor Who Christmas specials and Wallace and Gromit, and I'm trying to think of some more. You know, you get your Christmas songs, and you get all I want for Christmas is you, and then you get people going, oh, the fucking Christmas songs, and you get other people going, oh, I can't be bothered with Christmas this time of year, can we not just move it, have it at a different time, or just like shift it every year? Or you just get people who just don't want to bother with it, full stop, and they just adamantly refuse to engage in Christmas. And it's kind of fun that we all have our own little, you know, reactions to this holiday. And it's nice that it kind of comes around every year, and it's a consistency. There's a consistency to Christmas that's really nice. And yeah, I feel like if we're going to keep doing Christmas, because I feel like at some point there's got to be the last Christmas ever where we as a collective species sort of agree, like, right, we're bored of Christmas now. It's the same way that, like, I don't know, TV, like terrestrial TV's kind of gone down, like Freeviews stopped being a big thing. It's kind of like that. And as we go forwards, I feel like what we should do is just keep enjoying the little things and not stressing the big stuff. Just try and remember what is simple and nice about this holiday, which is the fact that we can all come together and just say, oh, Merry Christmas, you know, you're at the office, and then, you know, you go off your Christmas holidays, and you're all like, Merry Christmas, and you get your little Christmas office party, which you kind of hate, but you go anyway, and, you know, there's a bit of like non-alcoholic mulled wine, you kind of sip it, and it's like, oh, this isn't good as the real stuff. And you're having your little chats like, hey, what are you going to do for Christmas? Oh, I'm going to go stay with the family up north. What are you? Oh, I was planning a holiday to Florida. What? Well, yeah, I just felt like, you know, I do Christmas and it's cold every year. I thought I'd go to somewhere hot and maybe have some tapas for Christmas. And kind of go, oh, right, fair enough. You know, you don't really care what they're doing, but it's nice to ask, because it's nice to respond when they ask you, I suppose. And it's nice that we can all have that little collective experience together, and then get back in the office afterwards and sort of go, oh, how's your Christmas? Good. How's your Christmas? Good. What did you get? Oh, I got a Play-Doh set for my son. What did you actually get for yourself? Oh, I got a painting that I quite like. I think my son found it in a charity shop, but it's quite nice. It's like Art Deco-y kind of look that I quite like. Art Deco is more relating to architecture, but you get the general point, right? Is that it's nice that we can all come together, and I feel like if we're going to keep doing Christmas, we should scale down the materialism, scale down the things that stress the people out that have to like provide all this stuff. The people have to cook the Christmas dinners. Let's make the Christmas dinner smaller. Let's make the presents less big. Let's make it so that we don't expect quite so much, and instead focus on just coming together and enjoying one another's company as a family or a group or a collective, and a general society at large, you know. So yeah, I think that's going to be the video. Thank you so much for watching this one. I hope you have a good Christmas, hope you have a good rest of the year as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you get. Yeah, and let me know what you gave someone. If you gave someone a really cool present, you know, you're quite proud of. But you can't obviously just go up to them and be like, oh, I'm so proud I got this person. But here, we don't know that person, we don't really know you, so you can be free to boast. So yeah. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye. I'm going to take a selfie with the dog. Cool. Hey up, everybody. My name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about overwhelming positivity. Now, there's a lot of YouTubers, creators, people out there that will try to spread positivity, and I feel like I'm becoming one of those people. And I feel like, yeah, positivity is a really great thing, obviously. We all want to feel positive, we all want to spread positivity, we all want everyone to be as happy as possible in general, right? But say you're going through a hard time at the moment. Do you listen to Happy by Pharrell Williams, or do you listen to Cigarettes After Sex? I imagine you probably, even if you don't like Cigarettes After Sex, it's not about whether you like these songs, but it's about the general vibe of both of them. Do you want the happy thing, or do you want the sad thing, right? If you're down, you want to be down with something that will validate your misery in that exact moment. You don't want to just sort of be force-fed this overly positive ideal, right? And I feel like there's plenty of YouTubers out there that will do nothing but just spread positivity constantly. And I sometimes wonder, what are they like in real life? Because I can't imagine they are actually like that all the time, that they never get sad, that they never have moments of cynicism, that they never have moments where they just want to fucking just tell the world to fuck off, you know? And that kind of thing. And we all have that. We all have moments where we just want to shut ourselves away from the world. We all have moments where we want to embrace everything and embrace the positivity. And I don't think you should try and force yourself to be one thing or the other. And if you're going to force yourself to be one thing, I suppose be this one, the positive one, rather than the negative one. But you know, we're always being dragged down anyway by the state of the world. I mean, I think everyone, no matter where you are, say on this political spectrum that's become a thing, right? No matter where you are on it, we all agree that the world is generally a little bit fucked, right? And what are we to do about it? Are we going to just sit here and be miserable about it? Or are we going to try and just make ourselves feel a little bit happier? Because I feel like the default is to be slowly bringing yourself down from happiness. And happiness actually takes effort to achieve. That's why there's so many positive influencers out there that try and spread, you know, be happy, go out there and do stuff, you know, engage in your community, get out of the house and engage in stuff, eat healthily and stuff, all this kind of thing. And it's really good that people are out there reminding you to do that. But say you subscribe to one of these sort of things because you need some self-improvement, you need some motivation and that kind of thing. And maybe you watched a few of their videos in one night where you really needed that motivation, and you watched like 5 of these person's videos and they really inspired you, right? But then it just keeps going and going, and they're just forcing this fucking positive message down your throat. And eventually you're just like, can you shut the fuck up about positivity for 1 second, please? Because I've had it. I've had enough positivity, right? I can't deal with anymore, because we can't all be super happy all the time. And I think anyone that tries to project themselves as being happy all the time, there's got to be something to it. There's got to be, maybe they're actually a bit of a bastard. Maybe there's something that's maybe a little bit wrong with them. Maybe, I don't know, that there's just some issue out there that you just sort of think, Jesus, it can't be like this all the time with you, surely, because it's just exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting, because imagine that you were happy all the time. Imagine you never felt sad. Imagine, say you're depressed, your depression's gone, your anxiety's gone, every mental health issue that you might have is gone, any physical health issue you've got is completely restored, and you're just at absolute peak happiness all the time, right? You're just at the 100% energy, full, everything's going well, non-stop, right? You're in basically heaven on earth, right? Do you think that you're going to remain at that same level of positivity and happiness the entire time for the rest of your life now that you've hit this baseline? I don't think you are. I think what's going to happen is, because you have the down times in your life and then you have the up times in your life, it's the contrast and the difference between the good and the bad that makes the good feel so much better and makes the bad feel a little bit more tolerable, right? Because say if you were happy all the time, you would forget what happiness means, and you would just become sort of ambivalent. Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy. Are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. Are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. Well, oh, great, we're all fucking happy. Well, whoop-de-doo. What are we going to do then? Well, you know, we'll all come together and sing Kumbaya forever, all right? And sure, it'd be nice to do that once in a while, right? But eventually, we've sung Kumbaya 5 times now. Can we sing something else, please? And it would kind of be like that. You would just get sick of the endless positivity. And I feel like what's happening with this Jonny Mozza channel at the moment is I'm noticing that the positive message sort of videos are the ones that seem to be doing the best, and people take all this inspiration from them and motivation from them, and I'm really super happy about that. And I get such a kick out of seeing the comments and scrolling through the comments. I try and read every single comment. I think I do still read every comment. And you know, I don't want to be a positivity influencer. I don't want to be someone that just sits there and just tells you to be happy even though you're not. Because what good is me telling you to be happy gonna do if you're not happy at this moment, and there's nothing that you can do in this moment to make you happy? Because maybe what makes you unhappy is the fact that you've just been fired from your job, and you know your rent is due, and you feel like you're gonna get kicked out of your house. How can you just walk through every day and just be happy and content in that? Because you can't. You're stressed out. Stress is an inherently negative thing. But I think you need a level of negativity. I'm not saying, by the way, you need to get kicked out of your house, but I'm saying sometimes you need a bit of negativity to make the positivity feel that much more positive, right? And you need the positivity to make the negativity feel that much less negative, right? And I feel like if you can go through life and have a good balance of both, you have really good times. Jesus Christ. Sorry, there's some kids behind the camera with a dead rat. Is that a dead rat? It looks like a dead rat. I mean, they are super happy about it. Oh, there we are. You know, the laughter of children is meant to make something that makes you happy, but it's bloody quite irritating at the moment, because I'm trying to record a video here, so that's a negative little thing right there. Even though children laughing, that's meant to be a super happy thing. That's meant to be like one of the nicest things ever, isn't like the laugh of a newborn meant to be the most beautiful sound in the world? And it's like, say you worked in the maternity ward and you just heard the sound of a baby laughing all the fucking time. You'd get so sick of it. You just get bored of the sound. It would just become white noise to you. It would just become like this, oh God, can this baby stop? Like, yeah, it's a positive thing. But because you've got so much of this positive thing, it feels wrong to shut out some of it. But you can't take it all in. You can't take in positivity all the time. You can't always be a super positive person. I'm not saying this at the moment because I'm not currently happy. I'm actually the happiest I've ever been. But I feel like you need the balance. You need the highs and you need the lows. And you need the lows to make the highs feel that much bigger, because you need to have the view. If everything was just high, then everything is at the same surface level. So everything is just like that, right? So if everything was at like the peak of Mount Everest, then the sea level is that high. That means everything is just this flat plain. And then what is there to look at? Just an endless flat landscape. Brilliant. How inspiring that is, right? You need a few of the peaks and you need a few valleys so that the valleys can be that much more beautiful and so that the peaks can look that much more grand from afar, right? So that's kind of the overall thing that I'm trying to get with this video, is that I understand that positivity is absolutely like necessary, and sometimes we need to try and force ourselves to be a bit positive. Sometimes, you know, we need to put our happy face on and go out into the world and try and be happy. Sometimes we need to do that. Sometimes, though, we need to just allow ourselves to be sad, and that's okay. It's fine to be whatever emotion it is that you are, because no matter what you feel at the moment, it's valid, because if you can't stop it, then it's valid, because you're trying your best, and that's the key. As long as you keep trying and don't just give up, you'll be all right. So thank you very much for watching this video. Sorry about this, and yeah, hope you have a good rest of the day. No, it's all right. You actually helped for the point of the video. They didn't hear that, but they'll hear it maybe in the future. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Have a good rest of the day. Take care. Or have a bad rest of the day, if that's how you want to feel. Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about deliberating with regards to, say, picking a film to watch. Now, I'm really bad for this. I'll go on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever, and I'll just scroll through for hours because I'll never find exactly what it is that I want to watch. And as a result, it means that I'm spending like half an hour, up to an hour sometimes, just going, oh, look at this film, and then I'll kind of go on like Google it, and I'll go on IMDb and I'll look at a couple of reviews, or I'll look at the score and I'll go, oh, do I really want to spend like 2.5 hours watching something that's only got 6.5? Yeah, no, I don't know. And then, but then, oh, maybe it's directed by a guy I kind of like, and yeah, maybe it'll be all right. Maybe it's just a bit misunderstood. But what if I'm one of the people that misunderstands it? Now I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it. It's too long. I'll find this other one. Oh, yeah, but it's a comedy and it's an American one. What if it's a little bit sort of loud and it's all about like, you know, gag humor and that kind of thing? You know, like that loud kind of American humor that they like the Hangover sort of thing. And then I kind of like, and then I'll just keep doing that. I'll keep doing it and doing it and doing it until I just end up just watching nothing, and I might just go back to YouTube and just finding whatever the homepage recommends to me. So I end up just engaging with crap and not really challenging my brain with anything worthwhile, because I'm never quite in a state of mind to actually watch that kind of thing. And ever since I got my girlfriend a few months ago, she's the total opposite. She doesn't deliberate. She just like scrolls through and she sees something. Oh, should we watch that? Bam, straight away, right? And then we're watching it, right? And if it's shit, right, then we can just stop watching it. You know, we don't have to watch a crap movie. But I always think of it as like, I've dedicated myself to this film. I have to give it my full attention. I have to sit down for all of it. And that's why I'm deliberating so much. And I realised that, and as of late, I've tried to just whack stuff on. Like I whacked on The Godfather Part 2, and I realised I'm not enjoying it. Yeah, you know the Family Guy thing where they're drowning, and he's like, I did not care for The Godfather. Yeah, that's kind of me. Like, I'm sure it's just because I don't get it. I don't get it, and I'll freely admit that, right? But if I'm being honest, the whole like mafia, Italian immigrant sort of thing just doesn't do much for me. And I find, what I like about The Godfather Part 1, I really like the part where Don Corleone, or however you say his name, he's in the hospital. I really like that stuff. Like around an hour and a half to about 2 hours 10, I love that bit. That bit's brilliant. And I like the wedding scene quite a lot. But outside of that, everything just really doesn't interest me. And it's all like, ooh, look, they put oranges on the tables whenever there was going to be a death. And it's like, no, they just put oranges there because there's a bit of colour, and like the directors and the cinematographers or whatever have outright said that, but people try and find meaning where it isn't. And I feel like when you're scrolling through films trying to find the one that's right for you, you're just putting yourself in a position where you're overemphasizing the importance of the film, like it's going to change your life, and if it doesn't, then you're disappointed by it. When you'd probably much rather watch something that's a little bit mediocre, that you didn't put any effort into putting on. You just chucked it on and then you watched it. And then now that you've watched it, you can bring it up in conversation, or if it comes up in conversation, you can say, oh yeah, I saw that, it was shit, you know, or oh, I saw it was really good. And you can just do that, and you can have a bit of fun with it. Oh, this tips back. So as of late, yeah, I have been trying to just watch rather than deliberate, and it has been a little bit liberating to not deliberate over what I'm choosing to watch. It means that I'm just getting more stuff like in my little like catalogue of films that I like, films that I've seen. What did we watch recently? It was a Spanish zombie movie. It was Apocalypse Z, something like that. Brackets the beginning, something like that. And it was about this like lad who I think his wife had died or left him or something, and he had this big house and he had a cat and he was a little bit depressed. And his sister was like, yeah, the government is taking a load of people out to like this island in the middle of nowhere. Well, you should come down. And then he goes to the airport, and at the airport, like a zombie outbreak happens, and like a guy bites a security guard, and then like it swarms everywhere. And it's one of those with like fast running zombies, and like where they turn really quickly, like they turn in like the space of about 10 seconds. So it was one of those kind of zombie films, and it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. And I thought if I was just like scrolling through things on my own, I would never in a million years have watched it. But I kind of enjoyed it, you know? And I think that's the important thing, is that it's important to have a little bit of schlock sometimes. It's important to not every film can be the Godfather level of intellectual. Not every film can change your life, and not every film should. You should watch a little bit of crap once in a while. You should watch a little bit of mediocre stuff, because the mediocre stuff helps bridge you from turning point to turning point in your life based on what you see that changes your perspective. Like, my favorite film is Before Sunrise, right? And it probably always will be. But if every film was of the quality of Before Sunrise, I feel like that would dilute what Before Sunrise means to me. If I'm just getting the same euphoric experience every single time, then that film suddenly wouldn't mean as much to me. If all the films that copy Before Sunrise, like Before We Go and stuff like that, if they were all as good as Before Sunrise, then Before Sunrise can't be that good if it's so easily replicatable. And I think that's part of the magic of cinema, is that, you know, not everything's going to be a masterpiece. Sometimes something will come out and it'll be an unexpected masterpiece. Like, I really like Joker, right? And I feel like if I say that, the people lump me in with a certain group. Like, I don't love it because, like, ooh, he's a misunderstood guy and I actually think he was a hero. No, he's a twat the entire movie. But it really reminded me of a film that I really love called Bad Boy Bubby, which is all about this kind of guy that's been raised wrong. He's been raised, like Bad Boy Bubby has been raised by his mother to basically think that there's an apocalypse outside. And every time she goes out, she puts a gas mask on and she tells him, sit still. And then she points at a little Jesus on the cross and it's like, Jesus is watching you. And if you move, he's going to fucking tell me and I'm going to beat the shit out of you. Basically like that. And like God's wrath will come upon you. And so he's raised in that kind of way, and he ends up escaping, and he has to try and ingratiate with the world and try and gain himself a little bit of normalcy and confidence and that kind of thing. And like, people take the piss out of him, people take advantage of him and all this kind of stuff. And it's really a beautiful, beautiful fucking film. It's one of the best films ever made. And Joker isn't as good as it, but it reminded me of that. And not many films remind me of that kind of film. I know everyone goes straight for King of Comedy, but I've not seen King of Comedy because, again, I've deliberated so much that means that I've not seen as many films as I perhaps should have, right? So yeah, I feel like if you're trying to watch a film, if you're trying to pick something to watch, just pick the first fucking thing that looks vaguely interesting to you. And if it turns out to not be interesting, then turn it off and do it again. And eventually you'll find something that catches your eye and for a long period of time. And that's all you need to do. Just keep clicking stuff. Just keep clicking stuff. And once you find something that you like, then you know, you realise, oh, I actually like zombie films. And I thought I didn't like them, but it turns out I do. Now, there's loads of zombie films I can watch, and they're all basically the fucking same. Like, they're all just, zombie apocalypse starts, people run around, try and survive the zombies. Maybe it's a man's inhumanity to man, and man is the real villain kind of thing. Maybe it's just pure action movie. Maybe it's all about the fast zombies and like big high stakes action. Maybe they try and do a weird twist with it and they do like a heist. Like, what's the one that Zack Snyder did? I can't remember the name of it, but he did that kind of thing. Or maybe there's one that George Romero did where it was all about like a bunch of documentary filmmakers that went and like, it was almost like a found footage zombie movie. You know, then there's ones that are like set on a desert island. There might be one set in the city. There might be one set in the middle of nowhere. Maybe there's ones where the zombies are like, have like thoughts and feelings and like ingratiate with society. Maybe there's ones where like, I don't know, the zombies can be cured and return back into normal people. And so there's now a moral dilemma are around killing them. All this kind of stuff. There's so many zombie movies, and they are all basically the same, but it's just these little things that are a little bit different. But they are all the same level of schlock, and some are more artsy than others, and some have gained a bit more fame within the general cultural zeitgeist. Like Dawn of the Dead is probably the most famous zombie movie. The original George Romero film is a fantastic movie. Really one of my favourite movies. That probably not of all time, but it would be in my top 100, I'd say. Dawn of the Dead would be like the extended director's cut, because I really like the slow, because it's all set in a shopping centre. I like the way it starts at the top and they've got their tiny little base, their little room, and as they get more comfortable, they explore the place and they clear out the rest of the shopping centre and they figure out what's right for them. And then from there, they figure out how to escape the shopping centre. And that's quite fun. I like all that kind of stuff, and I like the film because of that. And, you know, I feel like if you're just trying to find a film to watch, just click something. And I've said that a few times now, but I cannot stress it enough. And I'm stressing it also for myself, because I know I still deliberate, and no matter what I tell myself, I will still deliberate, and there's no real cure for that apart from just habit and just enforcing the habit. And if you can enforce the habit of just clicking before you consider, then you will end up watching more interesting stuff. You'll end up watching more stuff in general, and even if it's not interesting, then it can come up in a conversation. You go, yeah, that film's a load of shit. I wasn't interested in it. And yeah, that's going to be the video. So thank you so much for watching this, everybody. Please leave some film recommendations in the comments below, and just tell people, just watch it. You know, what's it about? Give us a little like synopsis. Go like, try and pitch us the film, sell it to us. It can be your film as well. You can do self-promo if you want, but don't tell us that you made it. Just make it out like it's a normal film. That way, if people come to your like films page on Amazon Prime or whatever, they'll just consider it to be a normal film like the rest of them, because no one is self-promoting here. They're just promoting their own film as if it wasn't theirs, if that makes sense. Don't be like, I made this film and I worked really hard on it, please check it out. Just go, this film's about a load of twats that try and get like married or whatever. Oh, well, okay, sweet, I'm gonna watch that. I'm interested in a load of twats getting married. How's a load of twats gonna get married? Isn't a marriage between two people? How are they going to make that work? Oh, it turns out they went to some country where the marriage laws are different, and you can get like 10 people get married at the same time. Oh, sweet, I didn't know that was a thing. It's not, I just made it up in my head. That's the film, but films are fiction, so that's cool. So yeah, that was a little bit nonsense at the end, but yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video, everybody. I hope you have a good rest of the day, and take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Ooh. Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about getting down and just feeling a little bit down, and how you can kind of try and get yourself out of a rut while still acknowledging your own emotions and that kind of thing. Because whatever it is that you're feeling right now, if you're not feeling too good, it's totally valid to not feel good, and it's totally fine to feel the way that you do, because there's a reason that you feel the way that you do, and it's just trying to figure out why you feel like this from a logistical and analytical point of view, rather than from an emotional point of view. So let's say, for instance, that you've just lost your job, right? It's very easy to sort of sit down and just go, oh my God, I feel so awful, like I did this and then I did this, and I just sort of feel like this, and I feel like this, and this kind of thing happens, and it can become very overwhelming, because all of a sudden you're bouncing from thing to thing to thing to thing, and you're not really understanding how these things may relate to a larger answer, right? Well, what you kind of want to try and do is to try and figure out why this thing correlates to this thing. And once you can figure out those 2 points, then you can connect those to a third. And by that point, now you have something that you can fill in. And if you spend your time filling in this gap, then everything will start to make more sense. And the more sense it starts to make, maybe it won't immediately solve the bad feeling, but you will at least know why you feel like this, and that can help you in the long run, right? So sometimes you just need to feel bad. Sometimes you just need to be sad, and that's completely fine, right? Even when you feel like maybe there's no reason to feel like this, and that in itself can be confusing. Sometimes you don't need to find the answer straight away. Sometimes you just need to wallow, and that's okay, as long as you don't do it too much and do it forever. Because there's a certain point when you need to stop with the emotional side of things, because you have done everything that there is to do within this emotional sphere, And now there's the logistical understanding sphere that you need to fill in. And once you can fill in that one, this one will start to empty as you start to fill this one up, because it's a balancing act. Because we have two sides of the brain. It's probably pop psychology or whatever, right? But you have two sides of the brain. You've got the logistical side and you've got the emotional side. And you want to give both of them your respect and your trust. There's no point shutting out your emotions in order to just feel the logistics. And there's no point not bothering with the logistics just so that you can feel your emotions, because that might make you feel like you're more true to yourself or whatever, right? You need to have a balance of both, because you're a complicated person. You're a way more complicated person than anyone gives you credit for, because we're all complex beings, because the human experience and the human life is very long, very arduous and very intense and very varied. There's so many different experiences that you'll have. And you might see someone who's like 60 and, you know, maybe they're just working in like a branch of Waterstones or whatever. And you might feel like they're a bit of a boring person just because, like, just on the first instinct, right? And you're not judging them based on that, but you just see their life, you're like, that's kind of a boring life. And then you get to talk to them, maybe at the pub or whatever, and they tell you about like their mad endeavors around like the Sudan or whatever, you know, and then you find out that they were in like some like pop punk band in the late 2000s, or maybe you find out that they went on tour with the Rolling Stones or something like that. I don't know, but you understand the point that I'm getting at, right? Is that everyone has their own story, and everyone's story is way more complex and varied than anyone can give it credit for, even themselves. Because I bet that person that works in that branch of Waterstones feels the same way that you did when you first saw them and made that little judgment. They feel like their life is boring. They feel like they're not good enough. They feel like there's others out there that do better than them, that are more interesting than them, that have more to say than them. But we all have a lot to say. And it's not about, you know, do we have 98% of stuff to say, or do we have 99% of stuff to say, or 97% of stuff to say? It's about figuring out how to say it. And it's about figuring out yourself within a wider context. And you know, when you feel down, that can cloud your judgment, it can cloud your worldview, and it can cloud everything that's around you, because it literally will feel like there's a dark cloud over you. And it will feel sort of hard to get away from the rain that comes on you all the time, metaphorical rain. And you'll sort of sit there and you'll go, look, I am a decent person at the end of the day. I try to be a decent person. And yet it still feels like life is throwing this hard stuff at me. How do I deal with it? And there's no easy answer on how to deal with it, because what might work for one person might not work for another. Some people might get something out of like the self-improvement, like dopamine withdrawal thing. Other people might not. Some people might, you know, turn to religion and might get something out of religion. Other people might not. Some people might take up yoga, and some people might think it's a load of shit, right? But whatever works for them, works for them. And I think as long as you try and maintain a positive outlook, which I know is very vague and very generic advice, but as long as you do it, then you will at least be on the path to success. Because it's not like, ooh, I've got a positive outlook now. Ooh, look at all the trees around me. Aren't they all so green and lovely? Oh, isn't everything so brilliant around here? It's fucking freezing deep down, you know, because you'd be lying to yourself, right? But it's about trying to see the actual positives that are around you. Like right now, I think that I'm surrounded by beauty. Even though the trees are dead, even though the sky is grey, even though this tree is a lump of old shit that just shouldn't really be here, you know, but it doesn't matter to me, because what I see is the nice things. I see that tree over there that you can't see, and I just think that's a gorgeous looking tree, you know. I don't sit at it and just sort of think, fucking hell, it's so grey and miserable around here, it's so fucking grim, everything's so shit. You know, because it's very easy to feel like that, because it's very easy to feel like negativity is the more important thing to notice, because negative things are negative and you want to avoid those negative things, right? So you try and look out for them. And that's logical, that makes sense, and I understand why we do it. I do it sometimes as well. But what you want to do is try and notice the positives in the world around you. Try and find the things that make you feel happy, because the more that you start to notice them, you'll notice more of them around you, right? Because the more that you take this journey towards, not enlightenment, but just, I don't know, you know how enlightenment is like a light comes down, maybe you've just got like a dim light and you kind of want to make it a bit brighter and brighter, and then you make the world around you feel brighter and brighter in the process. You just want to feel happy, right? You want to feel happy, but at the moment you don't. So you're trying to figure out how to solve that. And it's a very complicated issue. And sometimes you'll have setbacks that'll push you back. Sometimes you'll you'll feel artificially super on top of the world because of some good event that comes to you, and you'll kind of sit and think to yourself, like, at some point I'm not going to feel this good anymore, and how am I going to deal with that? And then you know what? Once that time comes, it won't be as bad as you feel like it will be, because it's very easy to catastrophize the badness. When at the end of the day, the badness is always a bit better than you think it is going to be once you get into the nitty-gritty of it, right? And then once you're in the badness, now the only way you can go is up. The only place you can go in a sphere of darkness is into the light, right? And all you can do if you feel sad is try and understand your sadness, validate yourself for it, whilst at the same time not, bringing down the world around you and trying to see the positives in the world around you. And while that can be very hard and it can feel like you actively have to try to do it, the more that you do it, the more it will feel innate to you. And the more that it feels innate to you, it won't feel like a task to accomplish, and it will start to just feel like an overarching worldview, and it will just become second nature to you. And then you'll just start seeing everything as positive. Like, obviously, like, you don't see literally everything as positive. If a bad thing happens to you, like I stepped in a bog on the way to film this video and it fucking stinks. That's not a positive thing, right? But you shut out the negative things, you acknowledge them, but then you put them in a box marked negative stuff, and then you get on with your life, right? Because this little box of negativity right here, you can open it and look through your old memories and see where you were and see how far you've come. But then at a certain point, it's nice to just put the box down, push it under the bed, and just breathe in nice, positive energy that's around you. So thank you very much for watching this incredibly hippie-esque video. I hope you managed to get something out of it. I know I'm a little bit all over the place with how I'm trying to word my point, but I think you generally get the gist of what I'm saying, right? Is that you need to try and have a positive outlook in order to see positivity, and the more you see positivity, the more you will feel the positivity, because it will breathe into you the way the air comes in through the pores of your skin, right? So thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you got something out of it, and have a good one, and have a good day, a proper good day. And if you're having a bad day, just feel like, I get why I feel like this. I totally understand it, because I have bad days as well. We all have fucking bad days. Even like Alan Watts had bad days.